Hello, ladies. Thank you so much for being present with me in this moment. Every one of our moments is super special, and I believe that we should be present in every single one of our moments because every moment gives us something that we can take with us to our next level. So, with that being said, thank you again for being present with me right here, right now. I enjoy this time that we have together. So, jumping right into today's topic on the video, I posted something in my stories earlier today, and I pretty much posted something that was inspired by a book that I just got through finished reading. And so I'm going to be kind of going into a little bit of detail about that and talking about pretty much how that post, what part of that post relates to me. So before I get started, I'm going to show you the book that I am going to be referring to. And so it's Take the Stairs, and the book is by Rory Vaden. Take the Stairs, 7 Steps to Achieving True Success. Rory Vaden. It was a very, very, very excellent read. That I actually got from, those little things that they have now that people will have in front of their houses, like these little houses, and they'll have like books in there like for free. That's where I actually got this book from. And actually, the next 5 books that I have to read came from those little boxes. It almost looks like a little mailbox in front of someone's house. So I highly recommend you to, if you pass by one of those little book mailboxes, I'm gonna call them, take a, stop and go and look in there and see what you can find, because there's some really good reads. But nonetheless, get back to the thing. So I'm gonna be talking about a part of the chapter that I read last that really kind of spoke to me. So this chapter is talking about what's holding you back, the 3 faces of inaction. Okay? The 3 faces of inaction, which ultimately means things that are causing you to be inactive, to not be active in your life, in your purpose, in this case. So he lists 3 things: fear, entitlement, and perfectionism. So for me, the entitlement is what stood out to me. And when I read it, or when I saw the word entitlement, a light bulb went off in my mind, because I'm like, I remember when I was younger and I had a really bad sense of entitlement. And I had to get over that the older that I got. And but when I was reading this chapter, I never looked at entitlement in the way that he broke it down. But when I read it, I was like, ooh, maybe some of that entitlement still lingered around in me, and crept into this area of my life. So I'm going to read you some of the highlighted parts that I thought was pretty interesting, that kind of spoke to me. So he says, we want someone else to work the long hours for us, someone else to solve our problems, someone else to teach us, someone else to get us out of debt, someone else to pay for our retirement, someone else to take care of our kids, someone else to make us feel good about ourselves, someone else to give us what we want. So in that list that I just named, there are a few things that stuck out to me. Someone else to solve our problems, someone else to teach us. So I think sometimes we downplay our own abilities and our gifts that we have been given. Okay. And I'm going to use myself as an example. So I was a part of this program to learn how to build the website for my store, right? And so I went through a program, there's a bunch of videos that the guy gave us. And I'm going to put a little plug in there. The program is T-Shirt Millionaires, okay? T-Shirt Millionaires. Go and check it out. If you want to know more about how to build your own store and your own brand, it is ran by Charles Smith, and the program is called T-Shirt Millionaires. So go and check out that website. He also has social media as well. Okay? He has a few brands, but his biggest brand is Black Fathers Exist. All right. So back to the story. So I'm in the program, and he has a slew of videos on how we need to do everything. And I found myself in some moments waiting for him to give me an answer or waiting for him to do whatever it is instead of me taking the initiative, as if I don't have a brain. So I think a lot of times we get really comfortable and we get complacent at getting the information from somebody else. And I'm not saying that that is an all bad thing, but sometimes we have the ability to go out and search or get the information ourselves, is what I am saying. Okay? But if you feel entitled, then you feel like somebody should just teach you, and you shouldn't have to go and look for anything. They're going to bring you the material for you to learn, and that's how that's going to go. But that's not always how life goes, and that's not the way things are sometimes. Sometimes you need to go out and get it yourself. A lot of times you got to go out and get it yourself if you really want it. The other thing that stood out to me was we want someone else to make us feel good about ourselves. When it comes to being in relationships, especially, I believe that us women are guilty of putting all of the feel-good responsibility on that man that we're with instead of putting it on ourselves. So we want him to romance us, to give us massages, to give us flowers, to take us to date night. We want him to do all of this good jazz for us to make us feel good about ourselves. And that's cool, but what are we doing for ourselves to make ourselves feel good? That dependency should not be put all on the person that you are with. It's impossible and it's unfair. So I just thought that that was something that stood out to me with the whole entitlement thing, okay? I think that a lot of us do walk around with a sense of entitlement on a few things, and the reality of it is it's our lives, it's our purpose, it's our vision, it's our ideas, it's no one else's. So why are we waiting for somebody else to give us X, Y, and Z so that we can go after those things? That's just excuses and ultimately purpose killers. Okay, so the other thing that stood out to me in this chapter was because the exact moment entitlement engages is the same moment our self-discipline disengages. I'm going to say that one more time. The exact moment entitlement engages is the same moment our self-discipline disengages. And to me, when I read that, it means that when our entitlement is in full-blown mode and is operating, and where we are relying on somebody else to do something for us so that we can get to that certain place, the self-discipline and the effort that is required on our part is null and void, because we are looking for everything that we need from something else instead of ourselves, when we really need to be looking at ourselves and looking inward. The other thing that stood out to me, and this is the last part, but it says entitlement is the end of achievement. Entitlement is the end of achievement. Entitlement is the end of purpose. Reject it. Get busy doing something that matters with your life. and you'll wake up one day with the rewards of success and purpose, even more than you ever thought you deserved. Okay? So, just to wrap up what I talked about, I pretty much just talked about from this book, which is Take the Stairs. I talked about 3 faces of inaction that he lists in this book, and they are fear, entitlement, and perfectionism. But I went over with you the one that stood out to me the most, which was the entitlement. So this was something that was like a learning thing for me as well. But I hope that sharing this with you encourages you as you're going along in your life journey, and as you are going along in your maybe pursuit of purpose, or getting back to your purpose, or in your pursuit of just you are walking your purpose already. I want you to think about those different things: fear, entitlement, and perfectionism, because I think that we all have a little bit of at least one of those things in us, and those things ultimately sometimes cause us to be inactive, because we are looking for the other person or something on the outside of us. We're looking for something on the outside as opposed to looking within for the stuff that we already have, to be active and present in our lives and in our purpose. So with that being said, I am going to let you guys go, but I hope that was helpful in some way. And once again, I love doing these videos with you guys. I would love to hear more comments and responses, from you about the videos, what you think about them, what you might want to hear more of from me. And just your opinions on some of the things that I talk about. That would be great. I would love to have this dialogue with you ladies. But nonetheless, I'm out. And until next time, remember to be present in every one of your moments. You and I were born for a purpose, created to live beyond existing. Have a good night.